Hello viewers. Of late I have been getting very interesting letters and very interesting questions from my viewers, and I actually want you to know that I probably differ from the traditional kind of thinking. I am what I am because of my thinking, and I'm going to share my views with you in regards to also answering the questions that have been flooded with. First of the questions that comes to me is, the question is, what and who decides the position of our planets at the time of our birth? Is it our past life karmas? I do karmas this birth and get born in my next birth under favorable and well positioned planets. Is it so? Now, my answer here would be that yes, whenever we are born, wherever the planets are, that is what decides your positives and negatives. Now, whether it is a past life karma's positioning or whether it is the future life's karma's positioning, it actually doesn't matter. Now, this is my philosophy and this is my understanding and this is how I have led my life, which I am sharing with you today. For me, heaven and hell is here. When I was born, and with the determination of the planets wherever they were placed, my positive and negatives were attributed to me. Now how I deal, they are like playing cards. That these are the playing cards that were dealt out to me. How I play with those playing cards, or how I deal with my attitude, which has been attributed to me through the planetary situations. And what I do in this life is my karma, because I am aware of this life. As a human being, I don't know what I did in my last life, or I don't know what is going to happen in my next life. But what I know is the present. What I know is what am I doing now. So through my birth chart, or through the placement of the planets during the time that I was born, determines my positives, my negatives, which leads me to my talents, which leads me to my attitude, and my attitude in this life is what will determine my altitude. Here I'm going to tell you a very short story, that there was this saint who claimed that he knew the 8th dimension. Normally people have studied the 7 dimensions, that okay, I know the first step, I know the second, I know the third, I know the fourth, and people who are very, very evolved say that we have surpassed the 7 dimensions. There is an 8th dimension whom nobody knows about. Now this saint claimed that he knew the 8th dimension, and therefore he was the most highly evolved of everybody. A gentleman from the crowd who was hearing him out, he quietly got up and he actually asked that person that I completely revere you, I completely respect you. I just need to know that we have been hearing that nobody knows about the 8th dimension. And the person who knew the 8th dimension has never come back to tell us what the 8th dimension was. So in your case, if you know the 8th dimension, I want to just know, how are you present to tell us the 8th dimension? And the crowd was silent. Which means that if I'm already into the future and I am talking about the future, how have I come back into the past? Because time never comes back. Once gone is gone. So to all my viewers out there, I want you all to understand, stop getting confused. Stop blaming. Now this is a blame game. That what we are today or what is happening to us today is probably because of our previous karma, or something else, or the planetary position is bad. No, You must understand, knowing about where the planets are gives you a determination of what are the positive and what are the negatives in you. And in this present world, how you negate your negatives and how you uplift your positives is what makes you a success. Knowing your positive and negatives through astrology or through the planet's placement is important, and the planet's placement is determined the time that you were born, irrespective of the past karmas or the future karmas. It's what you were born now. And that answers the question of who decides the position. Nobody decides the position. The position is decided by the time that you were born. Now, I need you all to understand, by knowing yourself, the advantage is, don't let life take you over, but you need to take over the control of your life.